So Tesla stock is currently at a pivotal moment, and in this video I want to go ahead and cover what report we just got today that's caused some bullishness for Tesla stock, as well as cover what we could potentially be seeing going forward. Now, we know that Tesla stock has been pretty much capitulating since December 28th, and I made a ton of videos over here on YouTube warning about Tesla stock falling down for quite some time. However, in this video I want to go ahead and touch on the question about whether or not we are at the bottom for Tesla stock. Now, we know that Cathie Wood of ARK Invest has pretty much been buying millions and millions of dollars worth of Tesla within the last few trading sessions. So there's been a lot of conversation saying, well, Cathie Wood is buying, well, perhaps this is the bottom. Now, I want to go ahead and touch on first on the news that we got for today, which was the annual 10K report, which provides a comprehensive and detailed look into the company. Now, this is a very long report with over 100 pages. However, I recently parsed through it today and I found something quite notable that I wanted to share with you guys, which is perhaps most likely the reason why we saw that spike in Tesla stock for today. And that is this section over here saying that we currently expect our capital expenditure to exceed $10 billion in 2024. Now, this is pretty notable because this is the first time that Tesla is going to go ahead and contribute 11 figures into capital expenditures. And so this kind of depicts that story of that growth. They're investing back into the company, and this kind of reminds me of how Tesla was before the big breakout in 2020 and 2021, where Tesla was kind of in that phase where it was just slightly moving up and then boom, the big breakout. And so that's where I think is currently taking place. We're seeing Tesla do a lot of investments to go ahead and really bring out the next generation vehicle, that vehicle that's going to be priced below $25,000 rumored to be, and that's the vehicle that I believe is going to be the game changer for Tesla stock going into the future. And so that's pretty much why we saw the optimism for today with Tesla. Now, there's some other reasons as well that I want to go ahead and cover in this video, but I believe that this 10K report pretty much provided that hopium, that hope that, okay, look, Tesla stock is locking in and focusing now on really building on its manufacturing to go ahead and bring that new product into the market. But in addition to that report, if you look at the 10-year treasury yields, they actually started coming downwards, which we know is oftentimes kind of a good sign for equities. When the 10-year treasury yields are down, that makes financial conditions much more looser, and that's good for stocks. But with that said, I want to go ahead and hop into my laptop. This way we could take a look at Tesla stock from a technical perspective as well, and also highlight some additional key items coming forth that are going to have a huge impact on Tesla stock moving forward. Now, before we actually hop into my laptop, just a friendly reminder to tap that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. This way you get notified on any upcoming videos. And I also want to provide another friendly reminder that I'm not one of those Tesla's channels that pretty much always talks about Tesla stock going up. I've been very real about Tesla stock falling down, and although I sacrificed a lot of my views talking about Tesla's going down, because of course when you talk about Tesla stock going down, people don't like that. But of course, I don't want to just sacrifice getting views just to tell you guys that Tesla stock is going to go upwards. In fact, if you look at the comment section of a lot of the other individuals who talk about Tesla, just look at their comment section. People are frustrated on them lying, saying that Tesla stock is going to go up every single day. It could be like, oh, Elon Musk burped. That's good news for Tesla. That's literally what those other channels kind of say. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but they try to take any little piece of information and point it as a bullish story for Tesla. And look, I get it. They're doing it for the AdSense, but I don't like to do that. And it reflects in the comments. I mean, look at this. People are saying if you literally did the exact opposite of what this guy predicted, like not buying or selling, you would make a killing. You can tell that he makes his money on AdSense and not the market. And so the point I'm trying to highlight with these comments on those other Tesla channels is that people are frustrated of being lied to. And that's the thing, guys. I don't want to go ahead and just kind of make up every story for Tesla to go up. And I know that hurts my views, but I want to go ahead and really dive into what we are actually seeing. So if you do appreciate that, thanks for watching, and let's go ahead and again hop into my laptop. Alrighty, so we are officially in my laptop taking a look at Tesla stock. Now, there's going to be a couple of things I may say that a lot of people are not going to like to hear. And so just a friendly reminder that you should only trade or invest in whatever you see value in, and you should never trade or invest based on whatever I say unless you see value in it, right? So that's one of the things I want to kind of just highlight before we move forward, because I think I'm going to ruffle some feathers over here, as I often do, right? As I talked about Tesla stock falling down since the 28th, I got a lot of people saying, no, you're crazy, right? Because apparently they were watching a lot of the other channels that were saying, no, Tesla stock is going to rocket to the moon on earnings. Well, that didn't happen, right? We saw Tesla stock fall down. Now, the day after earnings, we saw Tesla stock pretty much move flat. It did close slightly higher than the day prior, but it was such a minuscule amount. It wasn't of any substance. And so today is actually the first day where we get a bounce after the selling pressure from the earnings. And of course, it was a combination of the 10K report highlighting that Tesla is serious about making investments or more investments into its growth stories. It's it's going to be spending a few more billions of dollars than it typically has or previously has. And so that's good, right? People are like, okay, well, that's good for the story of Tesla. They're serious about going into that next generation vehicle. Okay, good news for Tesla. Of course, we also had the 10-year treasury yields come down. And there's actually one more thing. I'll highlight it later in the video, but it's not that important. So we'll go ahead and talk about that. Now, me personally, I'm still not adding any more shares in my long-term portfolio just yet for Tesla, right? So my long-term account where I've been investing in Tesla since 2017, I'm still not buying some shares. And I know some people are going to say, well, this is the absolute bottom. Kathy Wood just added millions and millions of dollars in Tesla. Are you crazy? Now, here's the thing, right? So after this big sell-off, right, it's not uncommon to see something called a dead cat bounce. Now, I'm not a big fan of the name, particularly because I have two cats myself, so I don't like to envision that. But the saying is, well, if you throw a dead cat to the floor hard enough, it's going to bounce. And so we have that kind of scenario taking place with some good catalyst news coming out, and so that could easily push Tesla stock upwards back to this $207 area, especially because when you look at it, there's little volume relative to price, and so further good news could definitely bring us close up here. Now, for me, I want to see us go above this 207 or 200 and around that like 207 to $209 area before I add more shares in my long-term portfolio, right? Again, my long-term portfolio is investing, right? And so yeah, maybe if Tesla does continue going up and this were to say the bottom, I missed out by a few percentage points, but again, it doesn't make a whole lot of it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things if I'm just missing out a few percentage points of not catching the absolute bottom. I just want to see price action confirm that things are going up and it's not just its dead cat bounce, right? Because yeah, we could have good news for one day and then continue falling downwards, right? We could easily have selling pressure bring us back downwards. And so that's something that I want to highlight. Again, I know some individuals don't want to hear that, but that's just kind of my take. Now, I'll go ahead and talk about Tesla from a trading perspective as well. But one of the things I also mentioned previously is, let's say this wasn't the bottom and Tesla stock does fall downwards. Well, that's where we had this big volume gap over here where we could easily fall down to that $148 area. So that's something I'm also mindful of. And so this is why I said it's a critical area. It's a crucial point. Because I don't know, nor does anyone else know if this is the bottom. Could it be the bottom? Perhaps. But I still want to wait a little bit more before I actually make a decision with my capital. Again, you guys are free to do whatever you feel is right for whatever you need to do with your goals in investing or in trading. That's just my perspective on Tesla right now. Now, something else I want to highlight. So, a couple of things that are going to be game changers for the market and also Tesla in particular is what we have as far as economic data. Today was a light day as far as economic data. You see nothing was scheduled, although we had the 10K for Tesla. That was good. The 10-year treasuries, coming down good. But tomorrow at 10 a.m., we had the job openings, and we have been saying that we want to follow the job markets, as the job market has pretty much been the lifeblood, or it's not has been, it is the lifeblood of the economy, but it's been something that's been driving the markets in either direction, right? Because of course, one of the things is, or the conversation is, are we in a soft landing or are we going into a recession? And really it's determined on jobs. And so we want to hear what goes on with job openings. Now, it's kind of like a double-edged sword because, again, you don't want to see things heat up too much.
But you also don't want to see things cool off with jobs, because then guess what? The day after we get the ADP employment numbers, but more importantly, dun dun dun, we get the Federal Reserve's decision on monetary policy on 2 p.m. Now, of course, the idea is that they're going to pause rates. They're not going to hike it. They're not going to cut it. Everyone is pretty much that's the general consensus, right? Everyone's pretty much pricing in that they're going to pause. But it's not about what their decision is. It's the forward guidance for March. Are they going to start cutting in March, or are they going to kind of delay or downplay that idea of cutting rates in March? And so if we have them kind of downplay the idea of cutting rates in March, well, that's going to cause some selling pressure in the markets, because the markets are kind of anticipating rate cuts. So if we don't get that, that's the big move downwards. But of course, if we do get like some language in there saying, yeah, we are most likely looking to cut, well, that's going to be really bullish. And so that's why I said we're at a pivotal area, and that's why I don't want to buy. And I know some individuals, again, they're going to be saying you're crazy, but I want to wait for the data. Now, by all means, if you think this is the bottom, do it. That's fine, right? But not only is it just a big week in terms of economic data, right? Because of course we also get some more job numbers and all that, right? But it's also a big week in terms of earnings. We have some of the largest companies reporting. I mean, we have damn near most of the Magnificent Seven reporting this week. We have Microsoft, we have AMD, Google, which is Alphabet. We have Apple, Amazon, Meta. Of course, I have highlighted a few other companies as well that are pretty huge companies that we're going to want to look into. But one of the reasons why I say you want to look at the Magnificent Seven, right? Of course, we already saw Tesla's earnings. But the Magnificent Seven, they have a huge influence on the direction of the market. In fact, I had this tweet over here that I tweeted maybe a few days ago, not sure, but just highlighting how the performance of the Magnificent Seven is in comparison to the rest of the, indexes, right? You have China over here, you have the small caps, you have the S&P 500 equally weighted, and you see that the mega caps have pretty much been driving upwards, while the rest of the market hasn't been doing that huge of a move. And so that's why, these huge mega caps that are going to be reporting, well, it's going to have an influence into the markets. And so we have two things. We have a major earnings week, while also having a lot of economic data, such as job reports and then also updates on monetary policy. So definitely a lot to get into for this week. Now, something else I want to highlight on why we saw Tesla stock also kind of push upward. So we have this tweet from Sawyer Merritt saying how Fidelity marked up the value of its shares in X Holding by more than 11% during the month of December, according to a new disclosure. And so this announcement is good because, of course, one of the things a lot of people want to see or hear is, okay, X doing well. And the reason why people want to hear the company X doing well, although it's not related to Tesla, is because if X is doing bad and struggling, well, the fear is that Elon Musk may have to sell some more shares of Tesla to fund, just X, which is formerly known as Twitter. And so that good news is possibly another reason why we saw Tesla stock push upward. So, when you add everything all together, yeah, dead cat bounce. We also have 10K disclosures, 10-year treasury yields, good news on X. So it creates this perfect storm for Tesla stock to pretty much open. And right now, the market's not closed as of the time of this recording, but still do close to 3%. And so definitely a good day, but I'm still not entirely convinced, right? And so I want to wait and I want to be patient. And there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, there's nothing also wrong with if you're investing long-term buying over here, that's fine, right? Of course, you just want to go ahead and wait for confirmation, be patient. But if you're, like investing in the next 10 years, it's not terrible, though I like to be much more surgical where at the times when I go ahead and buy Tesla. So that's my update as far as what I'm doing with my long-term portfolio. Now, as far as trading Tesla, I haven't been trading Tesla for quite some time. I know usually when Tesla stock falls down, in fact, usually when Tesla goes close to this descending trend line, I've been shorting Tesla. I've been doing that for quite some time over and over and over again, and I'm pretty much highlighting that publicly here on YouTube, but also telling specifically those within the Push and Profit private group areas that I like shorting. But I haven't been shorting Tesla, as I've been looking at many other plays, and I've been highlighting that within the Push and Profit private group, and so I haven't been trading it. But I will be looking to trade Tesla in my short-term trading account very soon, depending on what we do get with the earnings and also monetary policy, job numbers. And so definitely excited to go ahead and start trading Tesla again, because Tesla is definitely one of those great stocks to trade because of the fact of it's a high beta stock, right? It follows what the markets are doing oftentimes, right? And it does it in a much more amplified manner. Now, of course, it's not always the case, as we've seen pretty much. Let's go ahead and look at SPY push upwards. Look at that. Another new high for today. Push upwards. Well, Tesla has been falling down, but it's definitely a fun stock. It's very volatile to trade Tesla, so that's why I like trading it in my short-term trading account, but I haven't done so recently as there's been other opportunities. But definitely, that's just my update on Tesla. Now, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts? Do you guys think Cathie Wood is right? This is the bottom. She's been buying millions of millions of dollars worth of shares. Correction there. And so, you guys let me know. But that's just my approach for Tesla. But with that said, before you guys go, consider watching this next video right over here, where I break down the 3 stages of a reversal, where I talk about a technical approach to buying. With that said, I'll see you guys on that next video, and take care, guys.